Stephen Berkoff is the biggest theatre practitioner in the world. With his involvement in theatre, Berkoff became a successful actor in both theatre and screen, with the string of films from Octopussy, Beverly Hills Cop, and The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and also another film which is a personal favourite of mine, which is The Tourist with Johnny Depp and Angelina Jolie. But we're not talking about his film acting, even he was so big and well known for his acting career and everything else. We are talking more about his theatre. Berkoff has written many plays in his theatre style, total theatre, which is another form of physical theatre. In this video, we'll be discussing about Berkoff's approach into theatre and his approach into theatre style and his playwriting. His playwriting has provide a purpose and a motivation to challenge the audience, to challenge the actors, especially the actors, to push their absolute brim physically and how to develop performances. And today, guys, we are diving into a guide to playwrights. A big welcome back to a legend of Stephen Berkoff. Hello everybody, welcome back to another guide to playwrights on a brand new revamp of a channel. Still using my old channel because I can't create another one, but this is a brand new channel called Let's Talk About Theatre, and this is the guide to of all playwrights. So if you go see my other videos on all the other playwrights as well, you can go and feast your eyes on them, because we are going to be talking about playwrights. We're going to be talking about theatre shows. We're going to be talking about theatre companies. We're going to even talk about different new styles of theatre. I had a little bit of a break from theatre this year because obviously I just been graduated this year. So I just thought, you know what, let's just shine away for a little bit. Just let myself rest and just calm down. And now I'm just thinking of going straight back into theatre once and for all, and going to show you a list of playwrights. I'm even planning on writing one today, start researching today. And then also I'm still doing my music reviews. So if you follow me on Let's Talk About Music, I got one that I'm about to film today, two actually about to film today. Well, one to film today and edit alongside with this one, and then I'm going to be filming the other one on Saturday as well. I know there's Oasis, but I'll let you know if I got the tickets for Oasis, because I'm planning to go with my brother and my sister. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm excited. I'm excited if this is happening. I'm excited. I'm not going to jinx myself. No. Because I would love to go see them live. Oasis, if you're watching this, I love you. And you're performing on my birthday. Can we get tickets, please? Sorry, I'm just dramatic. Before we get into today's video, I just want to throw it out there that I mean absolutely no disrespect to anybody who I'm talking about in this video. This is all educational purposes that I gathered information from the internet and combined into one video. There are a few content warnings about this play. We're going to be talking about the power struggles of social classes. We're going to be talking about religion as well. I'll let you know in one of the plays that we will be discussing about in near enough in the end of the video. Every time we fact checked our resources and information, no action will be taking place against the playwright or the playwright's work. All opinions are stated are mine and mine alone. And also, just to remind you all that this man is still alive today, and his work still exists, and his work are still celebrating. So let's keep the comment section down with all peace and love and everything else, everything all nice and easy. And all being said, let's dive into the world and the brilliant mind of Stephen Berkoff. So Stephen Berkoff was actually born as Leslie Stephen Berkoff Burks in stately London in 1937. So his name, Leslie Stephen Burks, is like really like a real strange, not a strange name or anything else. But when I saw on my research and even studied him at college and university, he always been called as, when he was born, he was named Leslie, and Stephen Berkoff is actually his stage name, his name that he used into theatre and acting and everything else. He's been using that for using Berkoff as a stage name, but his real name is Leslie Steve Berkoff. Berkoff was immersed into a vibrant, but he did find where he was living in is very, very challenging because he is the son of a Jewish family, and also I think it's his parents or his grandparents, I'm unsure, but his family were immigrated into the UK, and they were a Jewish immigration, and you couldn't even imagine like the hardships that family went through when they were immigrated, because it was really hard for a Jewish man to start working and everything else. It is a really hard timeline and everything. And early in his life, he was huge. His huge influence of the working class, which we will get to that point on the video, but he was actually from a working class background. Berkoff have suffered struggles throughout his journey into acting, which he faced harsh realities from post-war London, and it continues to fight forward until he gets to the dream that he of wanting to become an actor. And I feel like with every actor in this generation is always a tough road. It's a tough road for me as well, because I do a lot of performances, I do a lot of acting, and I have actually starred into the NHS video to help people with autism while they're diagnosed with sepsis. And with that, it is a hard road, but the beauty about it, you push forward. I think a lot of people do get pushed off when they heard a hard road, a hard, tough road. Don't get that out of your head. Keep going. If you want to act and you want to perform and you would risk anything, you go and do it. You will do whatever you want. Doesn't matter of anything these days. Anything is possible. This happens. However, this happens at the Webber Douglas Academy of Dramatic Art, to where he focused on his passion into acting, and he was honoured school with his craft. He was developing a power of stage premise with his unique style, which we will get to in this video. Because in the school he attended to, he honoured the school for helping him with his craft into his performance, and this is where it gets all into a signature look into his performance. In 1965, he travelled to Paris to, I'm going to say what it's called, because there is a school, it's huge, a lot of big acts go there, but I'm going to say this one school, and this is called the Jack Lecoq School. So Jack Lecoq focuses on mind and physical theatre. This experience has impacted Berkoff for Berkoff's career as a theatre practitioner and as an actor and playwright, as he shaped his approach to his acting, as well with this experience that impacts Berkoff's understanding with theatre as physical and usually as an art form. The school, Jack Lecoq has really taught Berkoff a lot of things about school, like about miming especially. Mime is like basically like that it's no words, just actions, and that's how it works on. And also when we get to the video as well, Jack Lecoq uses neutral masks, basically masks that doesn't have any emotion, doesn't have any features or anything else. It's just what you call masks. And when I was at college, we actually used trestle masks, which does have those little big cartoon little faces and everything else. And some of them are, some of the performances that we did were funny, and some of the performances we did, one performance I did was really, really serious, which I'm really proud of doing. But the trestle masks are absolutely incredible. And I love trestle masks because I miss my time at college. I really do. But the real downfall is they're really expensive. Like if you did break one, it is really expensive to replace them because they're so iconic. And I love trestle masks. I just do. I really, really do. They really are amazing. Really amazing. And with Berkoff's amazing career path that he went through with the Douglas Abbott Academy of Dramatic Arts and the Jack Lecoq School, that really impacted his life into physical theatre. He really has that urge power that he loves physical theatre. He loves that format. He loves that style. He just loves performing. He's just absolutely startled with it, and that whole motivation coming from the Jack Lecoq School. There are other big names that went there as well, like Sacha Baron Cohen, Helena Bonham Carter, Toby Jones. Many actors come from the Jack Lecoq School. Like even when I heard that Helena Bonham Carter went there, I think she went to schools in France. I know she went to the Philippe Gaulier school. She went to the Philippe Gaulier school alongside with Sacha Baron Cohen. But also, and if you don't know Philippe Gaulier he is a very, very brutal teacher. He would not just say, he's very passionate, but I love him. I love these kind of directors. I'm kind of influenced by them. He kind of goes like this: it's rubbish, it's shit. He will actually say you're shit right to your face, really brutal, and he doesn't even apologize, which really, don't apologize for your opinion. If you have an opinion about a performance that's not good, don't apologize. And I think he's inspirational, like with clowning as well, which we will talk more about Philippe Gaulier and his techniques, because they're amazing. They're amazing techniques. I really am a big fan of Philippe Gaulier's acting and his teaching and everything else. It's just so, so good. And then we get to where Berkoff started his theatre career. I'm not going to tell you where it started because I know he is heavily influenced by kabuki, which he went to Tokyo and then discovered kabuki. And if you don't know what it is a Japanese traditional format where they have the big costumes and the big stances and everything with real dramatic music. It's a Japanese form of traditional performances, and it's just beautiful. I love kabuki really well. I actually learned more kabuki at university. It is a really good way to educate yourselves about Japanese culture, even about the history, because they're very strict on history as well. So that's what I really love kabuki. I seen and also with Shakespeare as well. Kabuki is big on Shakespeare, and you can see the performance styles merging in, and it's just stunning. So I won't go into too much detail like on my previous videos. What I will do is go talk straight through to Steven Berkoff's theatre style, because this is his signature style he used. I actually went up and checked if it's a theatre company or anything else, but I think it's called the Steven Berkoff Theatre Company. I'm unsure, but I will put it in there if I'm right. But anyway, let's go on. He has worked on a theatre style called total theatre. So I'll tell you what total theatre is. Total theatre is a theatre style that the actors, instead of natural emotions through the psychological side of things, he wants them to bring out the physicality of the emotions. So he wants them to make the use of the imagination. So instead of using real sets, and he said it in an interview that he doesn't want to use like Victorian theatre, that a big waterfall coming down, or like thunder, and or having Pepper's ghosts in the lines, so you can actually see a ghost on stage. He doesn't want that. He wants the actors to use their imagination throughout the physical form. So they could use, if they're having a ledge, so they can use their arms lining up together to use a ledge, and peeping down, up and down, up and down, up and down. That's the use of the imagination. Or like the use of mime, the rope coming in like that. I wish this was in 3D. And coming like that. This sort of thing that is good for theatre. That's what Stephen Berkoff wants, the use of the imagination that we are thinking on every single day. And that's what it goes for, the luministic, stylized movement. So if there's a slow motion, it highlights the importance of a story. Miming as well. That's the worst mime I can ever do. But no, these sort of things that are physically active for an actor, and we will get to the reason why. But in fact, I'll tell you this now. He basically likes to challenge the actor's imagination, put actors on a challenge to become physically the character without having the emotion and everything else, like naturalism or anything else. He actually wants to suppress that and have more of the physicality. This is what he says. Like, so with total theatre is a technique that Berkoff wants to shake off the naturalisms and wanting from developing a psychic side of a performance and focusing on developing a physical side of expression. It is one of the most beautiful things that I have seen on physical theatre, and I really absolutely love Stephen Berkoff with his ideology in theatre, especially with this. This is absolutely mind-boggling. It is amazing, creative. That's what he likes. And these techniques, like we already covered, stylized movements with the slow motion as well, and anything stylized will highlight the importance of performance, exaggerating facial impressions that he really does like, because it emphasized the character's stance and everything, and hierarchy as well. He likes using that. Direct aside, basically breaking down the fourth wall, and literally talking to the audience and informing them physically, which is what very Berkoffian. I can't say that word, I do apologize. But minimalistic sets, that's we just mentioned. So he would just have like a table and chair or a sofa or anything. That's it. That's all you're going to get, like a table and a chair or something. And that is it. And just using the actors using their physical performances as well. There's also another performance that was done in that way in a naturalistic set text, and that is from A Doll's House, where it has Jessica Chastain in there, and all she had to do, like, the stage was completely bare. There was nothing there. So she has to, like, drink a cup of tea with mime and everything. That was completely with no set or whatsoever. And there is one thing that Berkoff uses in theatre, and that is the use of face paint. And I'll tell you why. We already covered that Jack Lecoq uses uses a lot of masks, neutral masks. For Berkoff, he wants to use face paint as another form of masks as well, giving them the features. Again, expression of character, giving the hierarchy, giving the mask a movement. He is really fixated with physical theatre, where he wants to give a mask a moving face, a moving figure. I have got a book called The Theatre of Stephen Berkoff, and there was one play called The Fall of Usher House, and the first page was literally that, and I was so scared. I was like, oh my god. I know The Fall of Usher House is a horror play, a horror novella by Edgar Allan Poe. With Berkoff, he uses face paint to allow to emphasize on the character's emotion and traits, and also use the expression and symbolism and characterization, transformation, minimalism. I can't say that properly, sorry. Focus on cultural and historic references and emphasize the physicality of a mask. So he wants the expression of a mask to give out a purpose as well. And this allows the mask for movement. It gives out the face paint gives out the movement of a mask to allow the characters to emphasize more with the text and the character traits and stunts as well. So yeah. So here are a couple of examples of case studies of plays that I found by Berkoff, and then everything else. I will let you know each of the plays if there are some with content in, so you can skip forward, or you just want to stop there. We'll come back to another video soon. So, but this is his other play that's his really well known. So when I'm listing these plays, they're not in chronological order like I normally do. These are actually plays that are his well-known, his popular ones, and everything else. And then we will get to his first ever plays ever. I'm actually discussing one of his first plays on this one. So this one is a play called East, which was written in 1975 and premiered in 1975. It's a play that focuses on the working class of the East End in London. So you got these characters represent different aspects of East London. So you got these characters called Les and Mike. They are hooligans who are trying to navigate through the rough streets from the people they meet and everything else. They're very hooligan like with you know in 1970s gear with black boots, jeans, red shirt, and a black vest. That's what that they always wear. Sylve, who represents a woman of their affections, the most beautiful woman that they ever face eyes on and came of serious attraction to. And then mum and dad, who are actually Sylve's parents, they represent the older generation of the working class people and have different point of views of the current of the society that was based upon. With East as well. East is a very a play that is quite unusual. Ignore that. That is ice cream van. Thank you, ice cream person. Quite unusual. So this play doesn't have a traditional plot that normally does. It actually goes through a series of vignettes, like a series of scenes that going through with the characters, with what is Les and Mike were doing, and Sylvia and mum and dad were going through, and it all provide a point in the 1960s, during the 1960s and 70s of east of London, where you have violence, sexual tensions, and moments of dark humor. Dark humor plays a real key part in East, and especially another play we're going to look into called West as well. They both play a part in on emphasizing the text and also keep the audience active and laughing and everything else. And dark humor is a really good form of comedy to use in plays because it keeps the audience laughing, keeps the audience engaging. It's really, really good. And violence is another main key because with Mike and Les, they're hooligans and they get into like fights and arguments and everything else. It's just incredible. And there's an example in East, which is one of the most famous creations that one of the biggest creations in East, which is the motorcycle monologue, where they actually where you get my point of view, my view on use of the imagination. They created the motorcycle where they have one actor jumping on the other actor's shoulders and then pretending to be a motorbike, then na 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 na, that sort of expression. When I was during COVID lockdown, I actually used East and actually used the monologue before the motorcycle scene. If COVID didn't happen, I would have used the motorcycle duologue and brought my friend on, and we can actually perform that scene into perfection. We just worked really well together, and I thought this was amazing because Berkoff really emphasized the use of the imagination. He wants to challenge his actors of creating a set with their bodies. And there is one good example of a play that we will talk about, but this one is not it. And this is actually a play I haven't seen. I forgot to tell you, I have seen East before. Really, really great play, really fantastic. If you ever get a chance to see it, go see it. I saw it online during lockdown, and it's one of my favorite plays of all time. It's absolutely brilliant. This one is next play, which I'm trying to find information if the characters come back because Mike and Sil, both in this play, and it's called Wes. And again, there are similarities with this. I'm going to just talk it through. So with the plays that the actors, it actually explores the lives of young people in the West End of London, where you see the lives of young people where they're going through. So the story follows with a man called Mike from East. I actually found the information. It is the same character. Mike was in West now, and he finds the courage to live according to his own spirit. As the same with East, the characters represent a aspect that is similar to East. So Mike is actually not with Les this time, and he's with a character called Roy, and they both represent young men living in the West end of London who navigate the complexities of the environment. So in West, it actually emphasized courage. It emphasized the courage side into the play. And we obviously got Sil, who in the play text, it is Mike's bird. And this time we have mum and dad, but this is Mike's mum and dad. And they both represents the same characters as Sil's parents are, the older generation of the working class. In how it was staged, they have a line of chairs all spaced out, and then in the first scene there was a fight. There is a fight happening on there, and it's just absolutely incredible how West started, because it really, both of those plays in East, both in East and West, they actually focus on violence construction. I don't know why I'm clapping but they're focusing on violence, and it's very, very similar. And when I was looking through the play text as well, there's a gang called the Hoxton Gang, and they actually from the same actors who played with Mike's gang. So Mike's gang, the actors from Mike's gang are playing the Hoxton Gang. So you can see the different styles, the multi-rolling of actors. That is what Berkoff likes. Challenge, multi-rolling. So we got creating sets with the motorcycle, and now we've got multi-rolling, which is something a really good thing that Berkoff uses. In West, there's a bigger cast because comparing East, they only had two females and two females and four men, and this one is only added about three extra males. So this one has two females and seven males in West. So, and the only characters that did return is obviously Mike and Sylvia, who both return. And Berkoff is a master into adaptations. He loves adaptations. There was an interview he did many years ago, and he went to the Douglas Abbott's Academy, again, this time being Berkoff, the playwright that he's been trained for years. And his teacher actually asked the class, Stephen Berkoff is taking over and he's going to think of creating a piece with you guys. So he got this book by Franz Crofter, which is by Frank Crofter, and he read a few lines and he said, let's turn it into a performance and making the use of the ensemble. But we're not going to be talking about that just yet. But we are focusing on another play that he did work on, but it's a retelling, and the play is called Greek, which is a play of a retelling of the story of Oedipus Rex, who is, as we know, all known as Oedipus. And fun fact, I actually did the third play from that trilogy because it is a trilogy, and it's called Antigone, which is Oedipus's daughter. I was in the chorus, so I had to have more stage time, and I have no time just going in and everything else. I have to stay on stage throughout the whole performance. It was amazing, but I was a little bit nervous, but it was a good challenge. It was a really good challenge. I actually think being on that stage for a long period of time with no breaks or going backstage was good. Is okay, but if you do Greek theatre, it's a big confident booster, and I really recommend anyone to do Greek theatre. So, and I love Greek theatre, but anyway, with Greek, it is actually a retelling story of Oedipus, and he wrote it, giving it a modern retelling by focusing on the character called Eddie, who voyaged beyond his East End home to encounter love, wealth, and his true identity. This play actually talks more about identity in Greek and wealth and his love and desire. It's a really good retelling of Oedipus and everything else. It's a really good focus. This retelling represents the prospect from Berkoff when in the most careful form. But with Berkoff, from what we mentioned, he has went to the Douglas Abbott School to that point where he actually said, let's build this first page, and that's where he developed the ensemble. And the play we're going to be discussing is called The Trial. Excuse me. I seen The Trial at least so many times. I saw this play at least so many times. I seen it performed. I seen this play performed so many times. It's unreal. I went I went to first see it at college. I studied it at university during lockdown. I had a friend of mine who's did studio prep on the trial, so I know the trial very well. So the trial is actually is all about a man who was falsely accused of a crime he did not commit, and he went through phases of meeting people who know him and trying to tell them that he's going to this trial and he's feared of going through execution. It is a really great play, and it's one of Crofter's one of Berkoff's favorite writers as well, and even this is one of his earliest plays he's ever done. Like the first ever adaptation and his first ever work is in the Penal Colony in 1986, and then it continued on for a good number of years. Like there's even a Greek tragedy he did as well, and then there's also another adaptation of the Fall of Usher House with that scary makeup, that one, and that is another one. And then his other play, he did do an adaptation which is the most talked in through school, and that is Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. This is an adaptation that had a lot of quite well-known actors such as Tim Roth, who was in it. He was actually mentioned in a book called The Meditations of Metamorphosis. And also there was a video performance of Tim Roth playing as the character. And with all that as well, Metamorphosis is a play that focuses on a young man who woken up as a giant insect. But this play focuses on society and how society works. It's a very famous novel and a very famous play. I actually seen Metamorphosis being performed, not in a Berkoffian style. Oh no, but I seen it in a Brechtian style. If you don't know who Bertolt Brecht is, I will do a video on him. He is a political theatre practitioner who come up with the term of epic theatre. I seen Metamorphosis in an epic theatre style, in that whole stance. It is a really stunning adaptation. It's absolutely amazing. So and this is what Berkoff uses again. He managed to get the actor to become an insect. So this actor has to be physically fit to become this insect. He had to crunch his body, jumping on levels up and everything else, trying to be an insect. If you were planning to direct this play, pick an actor who's physically fit and would able to do that. It's honestly one of the most challenging plays I ever came across, and it's all because Berkoff wants to use the use of the imagination. Did a SpongeBob expression. I would not do that again. I would not do that again. So with Berkoff, he's not strange, but in amazing ideas on developing character through our physical form. He actually made another play in the 90s, and that is a very short play. It's a really one of the most shortest plays he kind of done, and that is called Dog. And I tell you this, it is a play, it's a very short play about a man and his dog, a pit bull. So you go oh hello, and then I seen a YouTube video of this guy who performed this play, and he has a hooligan clothes, and then the actor has to use multi-rolling on this one to become the human and also the dog. And the actor on that YouTube video I saw who played that performance was amazing. He is fantastic. I was like, oh my God, that was amazing performance. And this is a little thing that kind of sums a little quote I found that Stephen Berkoff mentioned of writing Dog, which goes like this: the dog is mildly empathized in the insane and indirect energy of its owner. Curiosity, his belief are not verge or confused, but are held by the dedication and conviction which makes him in a way repulsively attractive. And the thing is about this play as well, it gives out the actor more of a challenging approach of becoming the dog. And also, it did mention the character is kind of from the Margaret Thatcher era, which he did wrote a play called Sink the Belgrava, which is an Argentinian ship that actually that we sank it because it was apparently a threat to the British ships and everything, and we don't know the sources or anything else. I don't really want to discuss the political side. That's what I was going to use to sink the Belgrava, but I don't want to discuss politics or anything. But the difference is it's historical politics in there, which I can really talk. But with current politics, I won't talk about it because I'm not that type of guy. So Berkoff has a way of not only challenging the audience but challenging the actors. So we mentioned that the use of the imagination with total theatre. From the plays like Metamorphosis and Dog, it is a broach to challenge them. And this play, I have actually found this, which is a very challenging play, and it will be the last play that we will be discussing on, and that is called one of my absolute favourites that I read. I read this play and I was like, loved it, and I want to discuss it, and that is called Messiah in 2000. Messiah is a play about Christianity, and it focuses on Jesus when he was on the cross. So the play really focuses on the Roman soldiers playing a game, and then you got Jesus on the cross. It's basically like a little bit of a mockery, and there's other characters coming in place, and there was this monologue I was going to use during lockdown, but the lines, oh my god, when I was reading them as I go along, it was so many lines. I think it was about 4 pages worth of lines. I was like reading it through. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm doing this. It was that long. Oh my god. But Berkoff has mentioned about the process of creating this play that gave him a bit of alteration. I began writing Messiah with the desire in the mind to describe what a human being must have suffered on the cross from their point of view, so to speak. So, and then he read another book read The Passover Plot by Dr. Hugh Schofield, and then he had to say this: Schofield has viewed the myth and myth so more human than godlike and involved. A remarkable theory based on research and a painstaking detail. The plot was in fact concocted. I can't say the word properly. I do apologize. By Jesus himself, and who engineers his own Marvden sloth to redeem the Jews, and felt he could only do this through Messianic intervention. And this is his Stephen Berkoff's point of view on that. And when I researched this play, it looks really, really great. Like, I read the play as well with so many characters. He likes working with an ensemble as well, with total theatre, as many actors he can. That would be perfect for him. It's the ensemble of working on a bigger cast for his plays, especially for Messiah, and definitely for Oedipus, which is his own adaptation. And with the research that is presented with those quotes, it brought brought contribution to the views on religion. That's where Stephen Berkoff brought his views on religion. And that is it for the case studies of the plays, but we ain't done yet. But overall, beside that, Stephen Berkoff is an icon into theatre. He's one of the most celebrated playwrights and celebrated actors, and he's still acting today. He even starred in an episode of Vikings. He starred in that big, incredible performance. I remember watching that performance and I was just like, is this the right series I'm on, season 2 or not? And then I saw it was actually the wrong one, but I was happy I saw it because I love Stephen Berkoff. I love that performance. That drive of energy was absolutely incredible. And Stephen Berkoff is very heavy in his Shakespeare. He's very heavy on his Shakespeare. He did a performance of like a masterclass of how to do Shakespeare characters and everything else. And the way he's done it was just marvelous. Like the stance and the egotist looking more powerful. And I can't do it. Sorry. But honestly, what Stephen Berkoff is known is challenging the audience and challenging the actors in their physical form to go way and beyond and creating a real new sense of performance for the audience. And that's all the research I got for today. It feels so good to be back doing guide to playwrights and everything else, and theatre practitioners. I love doing those sort of things because they're my favourite. And I got one playwright I'm going to be starting doing the research right about soon right now. But I want to say thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you had a really nice time. And I will still do my music reviews and everything else. Just let me edit this video, and then Saturday I will put another video on the video. I actually got this one right here. Then I got 2 videos to record, 3 videos to record. They're both music ones, and then the research for my playwright. I've just shown you the title. Probably the light is too saying, no, we will cover for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay in tune. Bye.